There's a quiet wisdom that comes with age, not the kind you read in books or hear in speeches, but the kind that settles into your bones after decades of watching life unfold. After 26,000 sunrises, after seasons changing, after relationships blooming and fading, after dreams realized and abandoned, one truth echoes louder than all the rest. Most people spend half their lives learning lessons that were waiting for them all along. Time is a patient teacher, but life doesn't wait for anyone. We walk through our younger years thinking we have forever. We postpone joy, delay dreams, and save our best selves for some distant tomorrow that may never arrive. We chase shadows while the light stands right behind us. We climb ladders only to discover they were leaning against the wrong walls. And somewhere along the way, in the space between who we were and who we thought we'd become, the years slip through our fingers like sand. But here's what takes most people 52 years to truly understand. The lessons that matter most aren't complicated. They're simple, almost too simple. So simple that we overlook them, ignore them, convince ourselves they don't apply to us. Until one day, we wake up and realize that all the answers we were searching for were hidden in plain sight. You don't need to waste 5 decades like so many have. You don't need to wait until your hair turns gray and your knees creak to understand what truly matters. The wisdom is here, now, waiting for you to claim it. This isn't just another motivational talk. This is truth distilled from decades of human experience, from collective regret, from moments of clarity that come when we finally stop running and start listening. These 9 lessons aren't theory. They're battle-tested wisdom from those who've walked the long road and lived to tell about it. If this message resonates with your soul, hit that like button. Drop a comment below. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel, and please don't skip any part of this video. So, settle in, open your heart, and let's talk about the truths that took a lifetime to learn. Truths that could transform your life starting today. If you're done wasting time, declare it right now. Type this in the comments. I claim my wisdom today. Number 1. You were never behind, you were just comparing. Most people spend their entire lives feeling like they're running a race they can never win. Everyone else seems ahead. Better jobs, bigger houses, happier families. There's always someone buying their first home while you're renting. Someone getting promotions while you stay put. Someone celebrating milestones while you're still waiting for your turn. Always feeling like you're lagging behind some invisible finish line. The truth? There is no race. There never was. We've been sold a lie. That life follows a timeline, that success has an expiration date, that if you haven't achieved certain milestones by certain ages, you've somehow failed. We measure our worth against other people's highlight reels, forgetting that we're comparing our behind-the-scenes struggles to their carefully curated victories. People feel like failures at 35 because they're not where they think they should be. They feel the same at 45. At 55, still the same. And it often takes until 73 to realize that should be is a prison we build with our own hands. Your journey is yours alone. The person who starts their business at 50 isn't behind the person who started at 25. They're just on a different path. The person who finds love at 60 isn't late. They're right on time for their story. The person who discovers their purpose at 70 isn't a failure. They're a testament to the fact that it's never too late. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present, not the past where you think you fell behind, not the future where you imagine you'll finally catch up, the present where your actual life is happening right now." Think about a tree. Does an oak tree feel behind because the pine tree next to it grew faster? Does the rose feel inferior because it blooms later than the tulip. Nature doesn't operate on comparison. It operates on its own perfect timing. You are nature too. The years spent feeling behind are years that could be spent living fully. The energy wasted comparing ourselves to others is energy that could be invested in becoming who we truly want to be. Every moment spent in the prison of comparison is a moment stolen from the freedom of authenticity. Here's what you need to understand. Your pace is perfect. Your timing is divine. Your path is exactly as it should be. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. That's it. That's the only comparison that matters. Stop scrolling through social media and feeling inadequate. Stop attending reunions and measuring your life against others. Stop apologizing for where you are. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be to learn what you need to learn. In practical terms, this means making one simple shift. When you catch yourself comparing, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for in my own journey right now? Redirect that comparison energy into appreciation energy. Do this daily. Do this hourly if you need to. The race you think you're losing doesn't exist. The timeline you think you're behind is imaginary. The only real moment is now, and in this moment, you have everything you need to take the next right step. Your life isn't a competition. It's a unique masterpiece being painted one brushstroke at a time. Stop judging the painting before it's finished. Trust the artist within you. If you're tired of comparing yourself to others, let the world know. Comment below. My pace is my power. Number 2. The people you keep shape the life you live. Too many people spend decades maintaining friendships that drain them, relationships that require them to shrink, to dim their light, to pretend they're less than they are just to make others comfortable, keeping toxic people close because they think loyalty means forever, confusing history with destiny, believing that time invested is reason enough to stay. It's a mistake that costs years of peace. There's a moment in every person's life when they realize that not everyone who started the journey with them is meant to finish it with them. Some people are chapters, not the whole book. Some are seasons, not lifetimes. And holding on to them past their expiration date doesn't honor the relationship, it suffocates growth. The 5 people you spend the most time with shape your thinking, your habits, your beliefs, your future. If those 5 people are negative, critical, dream-killing, energy-draining individuals, then your life will reflect that darkness. If those 5 people are encouraging, growth-minded, supportive, and positive, your life will bloom in ways you never imagined. Epictetus taught us, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. He understood something profound, that freedom isn't just about physical chains. Sometimes the heaviest chains are the relationships we refuse to release. Look around your life right now. Who are your 5? Do they celebrate your wins or secretly resent them? Do they encourage your dreams or plant seeds of doubt? Do they lift you higher or pull you down to their level? Be honest, brutally honest. We all know people who drain energy with every interaction. Every time good news is shared, they find the negative angle. Every time there's an idea, they explain why it won't work. Every conversation leaves you feeling smaller, heavier, more doubtful. But we keep them close because of history, because of obligation, because of fear of being alone. Here's what nobody tells you. Choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's survival. It's self-respect. It's recognizing that your energy is sacred and not everyone deserves access to it. This doesn't mean cutting people off cruelly or burning bridges unnecessarily. It means honoring yourself enough to create boundaries. It means understanding that some people were meant to teach you what you don't want, and once that lesson is learned, you're free to move on. In practical terms, start here. Make a list. Write down the names of the people you interact with most. Next to each name, write how you feel after spending time with them. Energized or drained, uplifted or diminished, hopeful or hopeless. The pattern will reveal itself. Then make intentional choices. Spend more time with the energy givers. Create loving distance from the energy takers. It's not about judgment, it's about alignment. It's about surrounding yourself with people who reflect the life you want to live, not the life you're trying to escape. And if you find yourself alone for a while as you make these changes, that's okay. Solitude is better than toxic company. In the quiet, you'll rediscover yourself. You'll remember who you were before the world told you who to be. You'll hear your own voice again. Your circle should be a sanctuary, not a battlefield. Your relationships should add to your life, not subtract from it. You deserve to be surrounded by people who see your light and fan the flame, not those who feel threatened by it and try to blow it out. Choose your circle wisely. Your future depends on it. If you're ready to protect your energy like never before, make it official. Write in the comments, "Energy vampires no longer welcomed." Number 3. Health is wealth until you lose it. At 30, people can eat anything and bounce back. At 40, they can skip sleep and power through. At 50, they can ignore the warning signs and keep going. At 60, the body sends a bill for all those years of neglect, and the interest is devastating. Heart attacks, diabetes, arthritis that makes every morning a negotiation with pain. A body that used to be a loyal friend becomes a stranger that's been betrayed. And the cruelest part? All of it is preventable. Every single bit of it. We treat our bodies like rental cars we plan to return damaged. We fuel them with garbage, run them into the ground, ignore every warning light on the dashboard, and somehow expect them to last forever. Then we act surprised when they break down. Here's the truth that takes most people 52 years and countless hospital visits to learn. Health isn't everything, but without it, everything else is nothing. All the money, success, achievements, and possessions mean absolutely zero when you're too sick to enjoy them. You can't buy back the body you destroyed. There's no store that sells new knees, fresh hearts, or do-over chances. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. And nothing wastes life faster than poor health that could have been avoided." Every day spent in pain is a day stolen from joy. Every limitation caused by neglect is a door closed to possibility. Watching grandchildren run and play but being unable to join them. Seeing places to visit but having a body that won't cooperate. Having energy in the spirit but exhaustion in the bones. Living proof that you can have all the time in the world but no quality of life to fill it with. People think they're invincible. They think they have time to get healthy later. They think one more late night, one more fast food meal, one more skipped workout won't matter. And then they reach 73, living with the consequences of 50 years of later. Don't wait for the diagnosis. Don't wait for the wake-up call. Don't wait until your body forces you to pay attention. Start now, today, this moment. In practical terms, this means making small, consistent choices. Drink water instead of soda. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk for 20 minutes instead of scrolling for 20 minutes. Eat one more vegetable. Sleep one more hour. Move your body with gratitude, not punishment. Your body is the only home you'll ever truly own. You can change jobs, relationships, locations, but you can't move out of your body. Treat it like the miracle it is. Every heartbeat is a gift. Every breath is a blessing. Every pain-free moment is something to celebrate, not take for granted. Young people destroy their health for careers that will replace them in a week. Middle-aged people sacrifice their bodies for stress that won't matter in a year. People of all ages live like they have backup bodies waiting in storage. They don't. This is it. This is your one body, your one chance, your one life. The choices you make today are writing the story of your tomorrow. Choose wisely. Choose health. Choose movement. Choose nourishment. Choose rest. The greatest wealth you'll ever have is the health to enjoy your life. Don't learn this lesson the hard way. Don't trade your vitality for temporary pleasures. Don't wait until it's too late. Your future self is begging you to start caring now. If your health matters more than your excuses, prove it. Put this in the comments. I treat my body like gold. Number 4. Silence holds more power than words ever will. Most people fill every silence with noise, every uncomfortable moment with words, every argument with their opinion, every pause with explanations, justifications, defenses. They think speaking up is strength. They think having the last word is winning. They think silence is weakness, submission, defeat. They spend decades talking when they should be listening, explaining when they should be observing, reacting when they should be reflecting. And in all that noise, they miss the wisdom that only comes in quiet moments. The greatest lessons in life are learned in silence. The deepest connections happen without words. The most powerful responses are the ones not spoken out loud. Silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. There's a profound difference between being quiet and being silent. Being quiet is just not talking. Being silent is a conscious choice, a deliberate practice, a form of power that most people never discover. Silence is listening when everyone else is shouting. Silence is pausing before reacting. Silence is knowing that not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every opinion needs to be shared. Not every argument needs to be won. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That power begins with mastering your tongue, with choosing silence over noise, with recognizing that sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Think about the people who command respect, not the loudest ones, not the ones who dominate every conversation, but the ones who speak sparingly and meaningfully, the ones whose words carry weight because they're carefully chosen, the ones who listen more than they talk. They've discovered what takes most a lifetime to learn, that silence is magnetic, that restraint is powerful, that mystery is more compelling than exposure. Relationships are lost because people can't stop talking. Reputations are damaged because people speak without thinking. Problems are created that didn't exist because of the need to fill every silence with noise. Looking back, the biggest regrets aren't the things said. They're the moments where silence was the better choice, but wasn't taken. When someone insults you, silence disarms them. When someone tries to provoke you, silence protects you. When someone wants a reaction, silence denies them that power. When someone expects you to defend yourself, silence shows you have nothing to prove. Not every attack deserves a response. Not every criticism requires a defense. Not every accusation needs an explanation. In practical terms, practice this. Before you speak, ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If the answer to any of these is no, choose silence. When someone says something hurtful, count to 10 before responding. When you're angry, wait 24 hours before sending that text or email. When you feel the urge to fill silence, resist it. Sit in the discomfort. Let the quiet teach you. Learn to listen, truly listen, without planning your response while someone else is talking. Hear what's not being said. Notice the emotions beneath the words. Give people the gift of your full attention instead of just waiting for your turn to speak. Silence also means knowing when to walk away. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every wrong needs to be righted. Not every person deserves your energy. Sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is removing yourself from the conversation entirely. The older we get, the less we should speak. And the less we speak, the more people listen when we do. The more space we create for silence, the more clarity we find. The more we practice restraint, the more respect we receive. Your words are precious. Don't waste them. Don't throw them around carelessly like they're unlimited. Speak with intention, speak with purpose, and when in doubt, choose the power of silence. Number 5. Your past doesn't define you. Your response to it does. Too many people carry their past like chains. Every mistake, every failure, every wrong turn, every moment of shame. They let their history write their future. They let their yesterday determine their today. They wear their regrets like a prison uniform, convinced that who they were back then is all they can ever be. Abandonment in childhood, dropping out of school, financial bankruptcy, painful divorces. Each of these events feels like a life sentence. Each one seems to prove that we're fundamentally flawed, broken, unworthy of better. But here's what changes everything. Your past is a fact, not a life sentence. What happened to you is real, but it doesn't have to define what happens next. You can't change your history, but you can absolutely change your relationship with it. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the worst thing you've ever done. You are not the trauma that happened to you. You are not the rejection you experienced. You are not the opportunity you missed. You are not the person who hurt you or the way they made you feel. You are what you choose to do next. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This man had every reason to be bitter, angry, defined by his suffering. Instead, he chose wisdom. He chose growth. He chose to transform his pain into purpose. Your response to your past is where your power lives, not in denying what happened, not in pretending it didn't hurt, but in refusing to let it be the end of your story. Every day you wake up is a chance to write a new chapter. Every moment is an opportunity to choose differently. People spend years blaming their parents for their struggles, years using their lack of education as an excuse, years hiding behind their failures as reasons why they can't succeed. And every year they do that. They give their past permission to steal their future. They make themselves victims of circumstances that are long gone. The day someone takes responsibility, not for what happened to them, but for what they do next, everything shifts. You can't change that your father left, but you can change how you show up as a parent to your own children. You can't change that you dropped out of college, but you can change your commitment to lifelong learning. You can't change bankruptcy, but you can change your relationship with money. You can't change divorce, but you can change how you love and trust again. In practical terms, this means stopping the story you tell yourself about your past. Stop introducing yourself by your wounds. Stop using your history as a shield against trying again. Stop letting old pain be your excuse for new inaction. Start here. Write down the story you've been telling yourself about your past, the one that begins with, "I can't because," or "I'm not enough because," or "I'll never be able to because." Now rewrite it. Same facts, different meaning. I went through this and it taught me. I experienced that and it made me stronger. This happened and now I choose. Your past is a teacher, not a warden. It's a chapter, not the whole book. It's a launching pad, not a prison. The question isn't what happened to you. The question is, what are you going to do with what happened to you? Every single day, you get to decide. Will you be defined by where you've been or empowered by where you're going? The choice has always been yours. If your past doesn't get to define your future, Claim it boldly. Comment this now. My story isn't over yet. Number 6. Time doesn't heal. Intentional action does. Time heals all wounds. That's what people hear after every loss, every heartbreak, every disappointment. Just wait, they say. Give it time. It'll get better. So people wait, and wait, and wait some more. 52 years later, the truth becomes clear. Time heals nothing on its own. Time is neutral. It passes whether you grow or not, whether you heal or not, whether you change or not. People carry the same pain for decades, the same bitterness for a lifetime, the same wounds from 30 years ago as fresh as the day they happened. Time didn't heal them. Time just gave them more years to stay stuck. What heals is what you do with the time, the intentional work, the honest conversations, the difficult choices, the therapy you finally attend, the forgiveness you finally grant, the boundaries you finally set, the truth you finally face, the help you finally ask for, the patterns you finally break. People spend 20 years angry at their parents for things that happened in childhood. 20 years. They think time will soften it. They think one day they'll wake up and the resentment will be gone. It never happens. The anger just becomes part of their identity, a familiar companion they carry everywhere, poisoning every relationship, every moment of potential joy. Then one day, a choice is made. Not because enough time has passed, but because they're tired of the wait. They go to therapy. They write letters they never send. They speak truths they've been swallowing. They choose to understand their parents as flawed human beings, doing their best with what they had, instead of the villains they'd made them into. That's what heals, not time, action. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." We wait for healing to happen to us when healing requires something from us. We wait for time to fix what only our courage can fix. That betrayal from 10 years ago, time hasn't healed it. You've just gotten better at avoiding it. That grief from losing someone you loved, time hasn't healed it. You've just gotten used to the emptiness. That trauma from childhood, time hasn't healed it. It's just gone underground, showing up in your relationships, your choices, your fears. Real healing requires turning toward the pain, not away from it. To feel what you've been avoiding, to speak what you've been silencing, to face what you've been running from. And yes, this is hard. This is uncomfortable. This is why most people choose to wait for time instead. But here's what becomes clear. Unhealed wounds don't disappear. They transform. They become anxiety, depression, addiction, anger, bitterness, isolation. They become the walls built around hearts. They become the reasons people sabotage good things. They become the patterns that can't be broken. In practical terms, stop waiting. If you're carrying pain, take action. If you need therapy, start it. If you need to have a difficult conversation, schedule it. If you need to forgive someone, begin that process. If you need to forgive yourself, do that work. If you need to let go of something, release your grip. Make a list of the wounds you're waiting for time to heal. Next to each one, write one intentional action you could take this week. Not eventually, this week. One phone call, one therapy session, one journal entry, one honest conversation, one small step toward healing. And understand this, healing isn't linear. You'll take steps forward and steps back. You'll have good days and terrible days. But intentional action, even imperfect action, moves you toward wholeness in a way that passive waiting never will. Stop giving time credit for work it doesn't do. Stop waiting for a magical moment when everything feels better. Start doing the work that actually heals. Your future peace depends on your present courage. If you're done waiting for things to magically fix themselves, take a stand. Drop this comment: I take action, I take control. Number 7. The life you want requires the courage to disappoint others. Too many people live their entire lives as people pleasers. They say yes when they mean no. They show up when they want to stay home. They pursue careers that make their parents proud instead of ones that make them happy. They stay in relationships longer than they should because they don't want to hurt anyone. They dim their light so others won't feel outshined. They make themselves small so others can feel big. And all that people-pleasing gets them a life that looks good on paper but feels empty in the soul. Relationships where they're loved for who they pretend to be, not who they actually are. Success in fields they never cared about. A resume full of accomplishments that mean nothing to them. Decades of living someone else's version of their life. Here's the hard truth nobody wants to hear. You cannot build the life you truly want without disappointing some people. You cannot be authentic without making some people uncomfortable. You cannot chase your real dreams without letting go of others' expectations. You cannot honor yourself without dishonoring someone else's image of who you should be. Your parents might be disappointed when you don't follow their path. Your friends might be upset when you outgrow the version of you they're comfortable with. Your partner might resist when you start setting boundaries. Your colleagues might judge you when you choose different priorities. Your community might criticize you when you stop playing by their rules. And you have to be okay with that. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Think about that. We claim to love ourselves, but we live our lives according to what others think. We betray ourselves daily to maintain the approval of people who aren't living our lives. People want to be artists. Their fathers want them to be lawyers, so they become lawyers and spend 30 years resenting every single day. They want to leave unhappy marriages after 5 years. But what would people think? So they stay for 15, making both parties miserable. They want to move across the country and start fresh at 55. But everyone says they're too old, too established, too crazy. So they stay put and spend 5 more years wondering, what if? Every time someone chooses others' approval over their truth, they lose a piece of themselves. Every time they prioritize others' comfort over their happiness, they build a life that feels like a prison. Every time they say yes when their soul is screaming no, they betray the person they were meant to become. The irony? The people they're trying so hard not to disappoint move on with their lives. They get over it. They adjust. They find new things to worry about. Meanwhile, people are left holding years of regret, years of unlived dreams, years of inauthenticity that they can never get back. In practical terms, start small. Say no to one thing this week that you would normally say yes to out of obligation. Disappoint one person in service of honoring yourself. Skip one event you don't want to attend. Set one boundary you've been afraid to set. Make one choice based on what you want, not what others expect. Yes, people will have feelings about it. They might be hurt. They might be angry. They might try to guilt you back into compliance. Let them. Their feelings are not your responsibility. Their expectations are not your obligation. Their version of who you should be is not your destiny. You are not on this earth to live up to anyone's expectations but your own. You are not here to make everyone comfortable at the expense of your own authenticity. You are not here to be who they need you to be. You are here to be who you were born to be. The life you want is waiting on the other side of your courage to disappoint. The person you're meant to become is waiting for you to stop being who everyone else needs. Your authentic self is buried under years of people-pleasing, waiting for you to dig it out. Stop living for the applause of others. Start living for the peace of knowing you were true to yourself. Number 8. Regret weighs heavier than failure ever will. At 73, people don't think about the things they tried and failed at. They don't lose sleep over the businesses that didn't work out, the risks that didn't pay off, the attempts that fell short. Those moments, they're just stories now. Some are funny, some taught lessons, some led to better opportunities, but none of them haunt. You know what haunts? The things not tried, the chances not taken, the dreams not chased, the words not said, the life not lived because of fear of failing. People wanted to write books at 35. They had the idea, the passion, the time. But what if it wasn't good enough? What if people criticized it? What if they failed? So they didn't write it. Now, at 73, they don't remember the fear. They just remember that the book was never written, that story was never told, that dream was never attempted. People wanted to tell someone they loved them at 28, really loved them. But what if they didn't feel the same? What if it ruined the friendship? What if they got rejected? So they stayed silent. Both people married others, and decades later, in chance meetings, they discover they both felt the same way. Both lived entire lives wondering what if, because neither had the courage to risk rejection. People wanted to start businesses at 42. They had the skills, the connections, the vision. But what if they failed? What if they lost money? What if people thought they were foolish? So they stayed in safe jobs they hated. They retired at 65 with nothing but pensions and lifetimes of wondering what could have been. Failure is temporary. It stings for a moment, teaches a lesson, and then becomes part of your story. But regret is permanent. It lives with you. It grows with you. It whispers in your quiet moments. You could have. You should have. Why didn't you? Seneca understood this when he wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The failure you fear is almost always less painful than the reality of living with regret. The rejection you avoid causes less suffering than the decades of wondering, what if? The embarrassment you're trying to prevent hurts less than the weight of a life half-lived. Conversations with people in their final years reveal a pattern. Hospice patients, people facing death. They don't talk about their failures, not the times they fell short, not the moments they looked foolish. They talk about the chances they didn't take, the love they didn't express, the dreams they didn't pursue, the life they didn't live because they were too busy playing it safe. No one on their deathbed says, "I wish I had failed less." They say, "I wish I had tried more." In practical terms, make a list right now. Write down 3 things you've been wanting to do but haven't because you're afraid of failing. 3 chances you've been avoiding. 3 conversations you've been postponing. 3 dreams you've been dismissing. Now ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if you try? Write it down. Be specific. Is it really as bad as spending the next 30 years wondering what could have been? Is it really worse than reaching 73 and realizing you let fear make all your decisions? Then ask yourself, what's the best that could happen? What if it works? What if you succeed? What if this is the thing that changes everything? What if the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the courage to try? Start this week, not eventually, this week. Take one action toward one of those dreams. Send the email, make the call, submit the application, have the conversation. Take the first step. Even if you fail, you'll have tried. And that's something you'll never regret. Because here's the truth learned too late. You can recover from failure. You can learn from mistakes. You can bounce back from rejection. But you can never recover the time spent not trying. You can never get back the dreams you were too afraid to chase. You can never undo the regret of a life lived in fear. Fail forward. Fail often, fail spectacularly if you must, but don't fail to try. Don't let fear write your story. Don't reach the end of your life with a heart full of what-ifs and a list of unlived dreams. The graveyard is full of potential that was never realized, dreams that were never chased, words that were never spoken. Don't take your dreams to the grave with you. Try, fall, get up, try again. That's living, that's growth, that's a life without regret. Number 9. Happiness was never in the destination, it was always in the journey. Too many people spend 65 years chasing the next thing, the next promotion, the next house, the next achievement, the next milestone. They tell themselves, I'll be happy when I get there, when I make this amount of money, when I reach this position, when I buy that car, when I retire, when I finally arrive at success. So they climb and climb and climb. They reach the top of mountains only to find themselves immediately looking for the next peak. They achieve goals only to feel empty the moment they're accomplished. They get everything they thought would make them happy and still feel like something is missing. Because it is. The whole time focused on the destination, they're missing the journey. The whole time waiting to arrive, they're forgetting to live. The whole time postponing happiness for some future achievement, life is happening right in front of them and they're too busy to notice. Children grow up while people chase success. Marriages deteriorate while careers are built. Health declines while things that aren't needed are accumulated. Friendships fade while people are too busy for connection. Sunsets come and go unseen. Moments of beauty pass unnoticed. Opportunities for joy are sacrificed at the altar of someday, and then one day they arrive. They retire. They have the house, the money, the achievements. And you know what they feel? Nothing. Because the happiness they thought was waiting at the destination was never there. It was back in all those moments they missed. It was in the journey they were too distracted to enjoy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present, not the future where you think happiness lives, not the destination where you imagine peace awaits. The present, right here, right now, this moment, this breath, this conversation, this sunset, this meal, this laugh. This is where life is. This is where happiness lives. Happiness isn't a place you arrive at. It's not a goal you achieve. It's not something you earn or purchase or accomplish. It's a practice. It's a choice. It's the ability to find joy in ordinary moments. It's gratitude for what is instead of anxiety about what isn't. It's presence instead of absence. People think happiness is in the corner office. It's actually in the coffee breaks with colleagues. They think happiness is in the bigger house. It's actually in the small apartments where children learn to walk. They think happiness is in retirement. It's actually in all those years of striving they considered just steps to something better. The destination is a lie we tell ourselves to justify missing our lives. I'll rest when I retire. I'll enjoy life when I make enough money. I'll be present when things calm down. Things never calm down. The destination keeps moving. There's always another goal, another achievement, another thing you think you need. In practical terms, start a daily gratitude practice. Every morning, before you start chasing the next thing, write down 3 things you're grateful for in this moment. Not in the future, not when something changes. Right now. The roof over your head, the breath in your lungs, the people who love you, the ability to try again today. Then, throughout your day, practice presence. When you're eating, actually taste your food instead of scrolling your phone. When you're with people, actually listen instead of thinking about what's next. When you're walking, actually notice the world around you instead of being lost in thoughts about tomorrow. Find one moment of beauty every single day and actually stop to appreciate it. A flower, a smile, a kind word, a ray of sunshine. One moment where you're not rushing to the next thing, but fully present in this thing. Because this is it. This moment right now is your life. Not the moment when you finally achieve your goals. Not the moment when everything falls into place. Not the moment in the future when you imagine you'll finally be happy. Now. This is your one wild, precious, fleeting life. Stop waiting for permission to enjoy it. Stop postponing joy for some imaginary destination. Stop sacrificing today on the altar of tomorrow. The journey is all you have. The journey is everything. The journey is where your life is actually happening. And if you keep missing it while you chase destinations, you'll wake up one day at 73 and realize that you spent your entire life preparing to live instead of actually living. Don't make that mistake. Be here now. Find joy in the ordinary. Celebrate the small moments. Love the people in front of you. Notice the beauty around you. This moment is all you're promised. Make it count. If you're finding beauty in this very moment, celebrate it with us. Write this. This moment is my masterpiece. 73 years, 26,000 sunrises, countless moments, choices, lessons. And if everything learned could be distilled into one truth, it would be this. Don't waste your life waiting to live it. Don't wait to stop comparing yourself. Don't wait to choose better relationships. Don't wait to take care of your body. Don't wait to embrace silence. Don't wait to heal your past. Don't wait for time to fix what only you can fix. Don't wait to disappoint people in pursuit of your truth. Don't wait to try because you're afraid to fail. Don't wait for happiness at some distant destination. The time is now, not tomorrow, not when things are perfect, not when you're ready. Now. You have one life, one chance, one opportunity to become who you were meant to be, to live the life you were meant to live, to make the impact you were meant to make. Every day you wait is a day you'll never get back. Every moment you postpone is a moment lost forever. These 9 lessons take most people 52 years to learn. But you can start applying them today. Right now, this moment. You can choose differently. You can live intentionally. You can refuse to waste another year of your precious life. Time at 73 runs short. But yours is still full of possibility, full of potential, full of chances to get it right. Don't squander it the way so many have. If this message touched your heart, hit that like button. Drop a comment below sharing which lesson resonated most with you. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel so we can continue growing together. Because the world needs people who are brave enough to live fully, authentically, intentionally. Your life is waiting. Stop wasting it. If this message stirred something deep inside you, don't stay silent. Share it, spread it, live it, comment. No more waiting, only living.